It is time to reset your body with this guy.
Let's go.
Sometimes we just want to hit that reset button and start all over. Well, your body doesn't really work that way. There's no reset button. There are some good buttons to press if you want certain things to happen. But this video, Blake here of Gorillas and Fitness, my buddy Blake, check out his channel. Great content that they produce over on his platform. He's a functional expert, corrective exercise, professional, whatever you want to do that. He's that guy. He does it all. He's great at what he does. So check out his channel. But he's going to show you and put me through 4 stretches, 4 movements that are going to help your body get reset. Reset from the stress of the day, reset from technology, reset from injury. Simple exercises that you can implement right now to feel better later today, tomorrow, and so on. So Blake, welcome to our channel.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, this is exciting stuff. So the first exercise, what do you got?
Yeah, so we're gonna show 4 stretches today. And these primarily target the muscles that are going to what we call adaptively shorten. And what that means is your body kind of cements itself in the positions that you put it in and hold for long periods of time, okay? This is why the hip flexors, which are a very common muscle group for people to be addressing, what makes them tight is this tissue adaptation. You're putting them in a shortened position, you're sitting like that all day long, and then they shorten up, and then they stay like that. They basically cement like that. So these 4 stretches focus on muscles that are also going through this in tandem with the hips. Yeah, we'll just get right into those. One of the first ones is the pecs, right? Both the pec major, which is like the medius muscle of your pecs, and then the pec minor, which is a little bit smaller, it kind of runs like this. One really effective stretch that you can do for that is called a doorway stretch. So Brian, if you want to demonstrate it with one arm here, yeah, you can do it with one arm. You can also do this with 2 arms in a doorway. I like to do it one arm because I really find that I can focus on getting a better stretch that way.
Yeah.
But basically what Brian is doing here is how you do it. You put your arm behind you, either on a machine like what he's using or in a door frame, and you're letting your chest open up and expand. You're letting your arm be taken back. I like to experiment with different angles with regards to the height of my hand. It's really gonna come down to your own anatomy. I feel it a bigger stretch in my pecs when my arms is up a little bit higher. You might feel it more stretching in your pecs when your arm is more level with your shoulder. Again, that comes down to you and kind of your body's alignment and the orientation of your muscle fibers. Find a position that feels good when you're doing it. And one thing that you really want to pay attention to when you're doing this, which I've made videos on my channel, is you do not want to let the head of the arm bone glide forward while you're doing it, like that, okay? Like this, not good, okay? When you do that, you're gonna feel your shoulder, you're gonna feel a lot of discomfort in the front of your shoulder, okay? This is not good for the joint capsule of the shoulder to do that, okay? So you almost wanna like squeeze a shoulder blade back on that side.
Yeah, so right there.
Exactly, as you're doing it, And don't let it round forward, okay? It's very easy to let that happen. If you do that, it's not gonna feel good on your shoulder. It can potentially do some long-term damage to the shoulder, and it's really not gonna be effectively stretching the pecs, which is one thing that we really wanna do, because the reason why we're targeting this muscle with one of our first stretches to reset your body is this muscle is tight on a lot of people, just like the hip flexors are. And when this muscle is tight, your shoulders are gonna internally rotate, and they're gonna dump forward like this, okay? And we don't wanna be standing like this, but a lot of people do. This is one stretch that helps to undo that.
Yeah, great stretch. I use it a lot. It just feels good. And the more you do this, the more you do this, the more you need to do this. So very simple exercise. How long should they hold it?
At least 30 seconds.
Cool.
You can go all the way up to a minute or even more. Really, just kind of be intuitive with it. People like to be very specific with stretches and things like that. I would say minimum 30 seconds, but if you want to hold it for up to 2 minutes, you can, as long as you're doing it the right way that we showed here today.
Cool. So moving on to the next one is a bicep stretch and release. It's kind of like very similar, but it's targeting obviously the front part of your arm.
Yeah, so this is another one of those muscles which is not as commonly addressed as like the hip flexors or even the pecs are in terms of stretching, but it's equally dysfunctional, I would say. And the reason for that is that same mechanism that I was talking about before, tissue adaptation, right? Whatever position you put a joint in, the muscles and the fascia around it are gonna adapt to that, and they're gonna cement you in that position. And if you think about what the biceps do, the biceps flex the elbow, right? Exactly, that's how you work them. You do bicep curls. If you think about how much time you spend with your elbows flexed, it's a lot of time on average, right? People are working at keyboards, they're holding phones, they're holding books, they're driving steering wheels. Your elbows are flexed all the time, and that can basically cause the bicep muscle to shorten up and become stiff. And one way you can kind of tell is if you have shortened biceps is if when your arm is relaxed and hanging by your side, it doesn't straighten out all the way, like mine. Okay, my biceps are actually tight, and that's why you can see when I'm just relaxed here, there's a slight kink in my elbow like this, okay? And partially what's contributing to that is that, restriction in the bicep here. And, when the biceps become restricted, the tendon of the bicep can become very inflamed, and that can contribute to shoulder issues in here, okay? A lot of people get these problems with their shoulder impingement, different types of tendonitis in there, and the bicep is one of those, muscles that attaches in there that can be a big problem. So what we're gonna show you now is a static stretch for the biceps. And, that is one way to do it.
Which way do you do it?
I really like to, if you come out to the side here, Brian, you can demonstrate, put the fingers down, okay? Yeah, so basically, this is exactly my favorite way to do it. You can either face it, just like this, or turn away from it. The key is you want to press your palm into a wall or an object in front of you that's stationary. You want your hand at about the same height as your shoulder, and the palm's down, or the fingers pointing down, palm fully pressed in, okay? I really find that you can really open up if you turn away from it even more, and that actually gets another muscle in here. Which is often very restricted as well. But this, similar to the pec stretch, you're gonna hold that for about 30 seconds. If you feel like you wanna do it more, then you could do it for more as well. But that's how I like to do it. Hold this stretch statically and really just feel that bicep open up.
I call those ninja moves. It's like one of those moves that it just comes out of nowhere. You're like, wow, I am excessively tight in my bicep. Yeah. Thank you for introducing me to another thing on my body that I need to fix.
I need to do that.
Yeah,
like today.
It's actually one of my problem areas when we're doing yoga, doing like, positions like this and stuff. Yep. Excessively tight forearms, extensors, flexors and all that, but it also comes down to the biceps. I mean, obviously lifting stuff. Anytime we're holding something, we're in a slightly flexed position. And now what you're saying is go against that. I mean, in any event, strengthen your triceps more, but also really stretch out the biceps so you can get that full extension to keep everything healthy. 100%. So all this stuff is good, and I love tying all this stuff in together. Now you're probably thinking, how can I implement this in a routine? Well, we actually have a product called metabolic stretching. This is a way you can stretch your entire body in just 15 minutes from home. There's a beginner's version, there's an advanced version. Yes, this is a DVD. If you're not down with the DVD, we have a digital copy available for you. So go underneath this video right now. There's gonna be a link that's pinned in the comment section. Click that link, get more information about this amazing product that's gonna stretch everything from your head to your toe, and it's also gonna help you lose weight too. So yeah, so back to this, we still have two other areas that we need to address.
Yep.
Upper cervical, your forward head posture, upper cross syndrome, everything from pretty much your pecs up.
Yeah. Specifically the head and the neck. So I have seen videos that you've made about this: tech neck, nerd neck, vulture neck, forward head posture, whatever you want to call it.
It's all the same.
Yeah, forward head carriage, forward head posture. It's like a more technical term for it. But yeah, it's characterized by your head being pushed forward like this.
Tight pecs.
Tight pecs.
Tight hips.
Tight hips. Upper traps typically are overactive. But primarily what's really firing a lot here is a muscle that attaches behind your ear, runs down here and attaches on your sternum, called the sternocleidomastoid, okay? And if you just look at where that muscle attaches, you can think about it. If it shortens up, what's that gonna do? Okay, it's gonna pull that head forward and you're gonna develop this forward head posture, okay? And similar to all the muscles that we've gone through today, that's gonna adaptively shorten. If you spend a lot of time in this position, looking at a computer screen, looking down, you're gonna get a lot of adaptation happening in this muscle. It's gonna become chronically tight, and you're gonna need to stretch it. So this stretch stretches that in tandem with these muscles in the back of your neck, which can actually become tight as well as a result of this forward head posture, okay? So when you're like this, these muscles in the back of your neck actually have to contract to kind of lift your chin up to bring your eyes so that they're level with the horizon so you can see things level. So typically with this forward head posture, you're gonna be tight in the sternocleidomastoid muscle, as well as these muscles in the back of the neck. And that's really what we're targeting today with this stretch. So this is one that I actually learned from my mentor, Paul Chek. It's a static stretch of it's kind of a modification of a chin tuck, which is more of a strengthening exercise they would use to correct forward head posture. But this one is more of a stretch than a strengthening exercise. So the way that you do it, Brian, if you want to face that way, I'll just instruct you on what you do. You put your left hand on your chin, okay? You want to kind of grab it like this, all right? Yep, so grab the whole chin. You're gonna put your right hand behind your head here. And what I want you to think about doing is, first of all, pushing your head back using the muscles of your neck. And then I want you to think about rotating the head this way. So you're kind of pushing the head this way, and you're pushing the chin in like that. And while you're doing that, you're pushing the whole head back using the muscles of your body. And what this is, the muscles of your neck. What this is going to do is it's going to stretch out. You should feel this back here. You feel it back here, Brian?
Yep.
Yep. So this is stretching out the muscles in the back of his neck, which, like I said, are gonna be really, really tight. It looks, yeah.
How do I look?
It looks funny, but this held,
put me in, coach, I'm ready.
This held statically, very much so like the other exercises that we've showed here today, the other stretches. It's very powerful to help to correct that forward head posture. There's still some strengthening exercises and other muscle imbalances associated with this. We call that upper cross syndrome, but that's a very powerful thing that you can do just to break up the monotony of the day and help to, you know, fix that forward head posture. So
yeah,
I like that one a lot.
I love how you said that. You got to stretch and then strengthen. A lot of people, they just think strengthen. I need to strengthen this in order for this to go away. But in reality is, certain things are too strong. They're overworked. So you need to actually lose some strength in these areas. Like you want to lose the strength in the muscles to get you back in a position, because if it's too strong, you can't stretch correctly. So don't always think strength is better. Mobility is better, and one of the best ways to get mobility is to increase flexibility and performance of that muscle. So I love that stretch. Great stretch. Felt it right away. It definitely looked awkward, and I'm sure I sounded awkward, but it worked. So.
Yeah, that's one. Maybe do that one at home. Don't walk around, you know,
do
gym.
it. Do it everywhere. Do it in your car. Do it right now. So the last one is the notorious hip flexor stretch. This is one that you use, you know, all the time. I use it here on our channel all the time.
Yep.
So let's go through it.
Yep. For sure. Yeah, so we made a video about this on your channel. I'm not sure when that video is going to be uploaded, but this is a classic static stretch that a lot of people actually do wrong. It's a great stretch that will open up the front of the hips, which again is another one of those muscles that will tighten up on people, but people don't do it right. So to start, you're gonna get in a kneeling position, just like Brian is right now. One leg down, one leg, you know, in front. The foot that's back, you can have that foot, you know, pointed or flexed, whatever you wanna do. But the key things that you wanna do here is, one is posteriorly tilt the hips, which means you're taking the hips from a frontal tilted position, like Brian's in right now, into a posterior tilt. So you're rotating them this way. Okay, so that's very important. That's actually going to keep the stretch on the hip flexors and not, you know, allow him to compensate and arch his back. You want that low back flat. Doing that will keep the low back flat. That's one step. Keep the pelvis tucked underneath. The second step is you want to squeeze the glute real hard on that side, and then kind of shift your hips forward while keeping that glute squeezed, while keeping the hips posteriorly tilted. Doing that is, I mean, he's feeling a stretch, no doubt, a lot in his, right in here. And that's another one, that's how you perform it. You hold that for about 30 seconds, just like the other stretches. It's pretty simple, do it on both sides. Make sure you're not arching that lower back, and make sure you're really squeezing the glute on the leg that's down. Those are the two most important things to remember when doing that.
Yeah, so 4 exercises that everybody needs to be doing daily. Spend a little bit of time on these 4 moves. Yeah, we've covered a lot of other different moves in many of our other videos, but these are specifically for those who are fixed in text position, seated position, where your biceps are like this from driving or texting.
If you do work on a computer, there's, you know, a very high likelihood that you're going to benefit from all of these exercises that we showed here today.
Yeah, so thanks for watching. Make sure you check out his channel, and we'll catch you in the next video. Hey, before you go, I want you to check out our metabolic stretching program that I mentioned in this video. Go underneath this video right now. In the comment section, I'm gonna pin a link that's gonna send you right over to the page where you can learn more about this. This program is awesome. It's gonna help you lose weight and feel great from home in just 15 minutes. Not only that, hit that subscribe button while you're down there, and if you've got a question for me or Blake, please let us know underneath this video as well. Have an awesome day. We'll see you in the next video.